There we go. Good morning, my friends. Welcome to this episode of Happiness After Codependency. I'm Marshall Berkshire, and I'm your guide back to knowing, loving, and living who you are. Today we have episode 5 of the Nature of Healing series that I am doing here. We're going to be talking about how nurturing ourselves, those 10 core needs that we've been discussing, reconnects us back to our true self, how that's essential to our healing and essential to the point of healing. It's why we're doing this, is to come back to us so that we can know, love, and live who we are. So we're going to be discussing that today. Before we get to that, I need to share this out to the community. The community is your safe haven here on the internet, where you can find tools, support, and guidance in your journey back to yourself. The link is above on Facebook. It's below on YouTube. And if you're listening via podcast, go to www.freetheself.com and click the community button, take you right to it, as well as check out the description below. So I'm going to get this shared out. I know I sound a bit stuffed up. I am dealing with some fun with allergies today. So yay for that. All right, so we are up. So good morning. I'm excited to be here with you today and to contribute to your healing, your well-being, and happiness with today's training. So how nurturing yourself heals your connection to your true self. So in codependency, we are unable to be ourselves because it feels very, very unsafe to be ourselves. We have learned through experience, by showing up and doing things our way, displaying ourselves certain ways, just being the person we be, that we're going to receive criticism, we're going to receive shame, we might be guilted, we might be physically or emotionally attacked for it, we may be ignored and neglected for it, we may be told that why are you the way that you are, or that's dumb, why are you doing that, things like that. We have received criticism and rejection from people who are core or primary to our well-being in our life, often our parents, maybe siblings, maybe close people whom we respect or see as important in our world. They might be authorities, teachers, religious leaders, things like that. And this kind of reflection, this kind of feedback that we get teaches us to abandon ourselves. It teaches us to distrust our instincts, our impulses, what we like, what we don't like. It teaches us to fear our own nature, our own persona, and self-concept. And so what happens is in this, we are neglected in being seen, valued, and loved for who we are. That leads us to adopt points of view or identities that we believe will get us favor with others. This is where people-pleasing shows up. This is where trying to appeal or become what we think someone else wants us to be shows up. This is where proving ourselves is demonstrated. We are lost in someone else's priorities and in their world. And we become very, very isolated. This is where the emptiness, loneliness, and disconnection result in from the neglect of being seen, being valued, being loved for the way we show up in the world, for who we are, our nature, the things that we like, how we do things, how we perceive things, how we communicate them, how we share and express ourselves. This is directly related to the neglect of those 10 core needs. If you're wondering what those 10 core needs are, above on Facebook, below on YouTube, and on the podcast in the description is a link to those 10 core needs. You can look at them there. But these 10 core needs are fundamental to the restoration of connection to ourselves. It's part of how we heal the neglect that we have been living with because of this criticism, because of being ignored for who we are, because we've had to displace ourselves in order to survive. And that displacement comes through those codependent behaviors, people-pleasing, proving ourselves, trying to control and fix things, avoiding conflict, trying to be perfect, things of that nature. When we start to actually nurture these 10 core needs, we start to meet them, and when I say meet them, we get to acknowledge them. They become real to us. We start to understand them and feel them, and then we start to care for them, feed them, nourish them. We start to reconnect with the true self within us. And that is the aspect of ourselves that has been exiled, that has been pushed away. We start to bring them home. And when they come into contact with us and we with them, we start to experience that wholeness, the emptiness that we've been living with, the loneliness that we've been wrestling with, starts to ebb, starts to get lighter. It starts to get less because we're increasing connection. We're increasing belonging with ourself. We are becoming a safe haven for all that we are. And at a practical level, what this looks like, I'll give you some examples from my own life. What that looks like is, I'm an introvert. I do things differently than extroverts do. I'm a strong introvert, meaning I really like my time, my space, my solitude. That's how I regulate. That means I'm not highly social. It means I'm not highly involved in other people's worlds. I'm in my own. And I favor that. I value that now. I used to try to be the extrovert. I was questioned a lot. I was shamed a lot for being introverted. In fact, I was sent to therapy to try to work that out because there's something wrong with you, Marshall. But that's not, in fact, what was real and what was going on. What was going on is that's my capacity, my social capacity for interaction is limited that way. That's how I work. Another attribute is how I show up in my work. Like most of the time, if you're a mentor or coach, you're going to have like awards and trophies and things. That's not me. I'm a gamer. I love gaming. It's been a big part of my life. They're stories you get to live and experience. So I put that up. I've got books, things that I study. Another aspect of coming into occupying who we are is how we share ourselves. This is one way in which I share myself, my discoveries, my creations, the things that I contribute here in the work of thriving beyond codependency, right? I'm doing this my way. Now, there are certain structures and things I use so it's successful, but this is me. When we really start nurturing ourselves, we start restoring connection back to who we are. This is where we start to actually find ourselves. So that loneliness, that emptiness, that sense of disconnection starts to fade, and out of it emerges a sense of wholeness, a sense of belonging, a sense of internal warmth. Because now we're not against ourselves. We're not shaming ourselves. We're not like, that's wrong, I got to get rid of that. It's more like, I'm connected here with me, and I'm okay right here. I'm valuable to me. I like me. I enjoy me. That's the point. That's what it means to nurture ourselves. And that's why it heals the connection to the true self. Because ultimately, and I got a list here I want to kind of run through. Ultimately, what it does is it makes it safe for us to be seen. It makes it safe for us to express ourselves, to share our thoughts, our feelings, to play our way. It makes it safe to share what we're thinking, what we want, what we're doing, what we like, what we don't like. It makes it safe to ask. Part of healing is learning how to receive again. And if we're going to nurture these 10 core needs and achieve more fulfillment, we have to learn how to ask. We have to learn how to receive. We're going to let it in without giving ourselves up. We've got to connect to the validity, the importance of our needs and wants, and how they restore and create connection and secure attachment with us and other people. And it's through asking, it's through sharing, it's through receiving that we accomplish that. That's the beauty of this. When we nurture our needs, it's empowering us to heal our connection with others, to heal our connection with existing in the world. That doesn't mean we're going to be able to heal our connection with people who've abused us or harmed us or anything like that. What it is going to mean is we can heal our ability to connect with others and build relationship with others that are healthy, that are compatible with us, and that we can build safety and intimacy, companionship, support, and play with. That's the magic here with that. Now, nurturing these needs and coming into who we truly are also makes it safe for us to decline things. We get to say no. Nope, not going to do that. Nope, don't want that. And we get to feel safe in doing that and safe in occupying that space of no, because that's part of how we regulate our needs and care for them. It's part of how we care for our capacity and our availability. It makes it safe for us to take adventure, to go and do risky things so that we can discover who we are in the world, discover and achieve things that matter to us. See, nurturing these 10 core needs is nurturing our well-being and our happiness. It's about giving us capacity and the ability to take action and take the risk necessary to experience the fulfillment of desires that we have for ourselves. This is where the happiness emerges in our life, because through the nurture of these 10 core needs, we're healing our relationship with happiness, with desire, with fulfillment. So now we're getting in contact with what is organically purposeful for us in our world. It allows us to take the action to fulfill that purpose. So it's these 10 core needs and the idea of nurturing them, so foundational to our well-being and happiness that I created an entire course around it. And it's a support course to the Heal Yourself strategy, and it's called Nurture. And it's an 8-week course in which I teach you how to identify those needs, how to legitimize them or make them real to you, and then how to fulfill them. Because as we get to know the need, and what it means to know a need is to know what it is, how it works, and then identify with whom it's compatible with, and then go out and fulfill it, experience it, ask, share, and receive in that world. This is what produces the results of the Nurture course, which are fulfillment, connection, satisfaction. It's the emptiness is healed. The loneliness is healed. The disconnection is healed, because now we've restored connection. We've got more contact with wholeness, and we're experiencing fulfillment on a more and more regular basis. And so that course is open for enrollment. It's the only time I'm teaching it live, because I've gone through a revamp and now I want to reteach it. So this is the time it'll be taught live right now. I'm not sure if it'll be taught live again. But we start October 4th and ends November 28th, so it's 8 weeks long. You get lifetime access to the recordings. You get lifetime access to any future updates to that course, as well as lifetime access to the Heal Yourself strategy that it's a part of, and twice a week live mentoring where you get support with me and other students that we're all going through our various journeys in restoring our well-being after codependency and really discovering ourselves and our happiness there. So the link is above on Facebook, below on YouTube. To enroll, it's $497. There are payment plans available, and there is also reduced pricing available if you want to take the course. You're like, this is for me, and there's some struggle there financially or something. Just apply for the reduced pricing. I'll get back to you. My friends, nurturing the core needs restores our true self, because we come back to us. We're no longer exiling ourselves. We're no longer rejecting ourselves. So we're welcoming our pain. We're welcoming our difference. We're welcoming our joy. We're welcoming connection and desire back into our world. And those things can become more and more safe as we do this. And that's the goal of nurturing our needs, getting connected back to ourselves, so that we can thrive beyond the codependency that we've used to survive for so long. Because again, codependency, it's a survival strategy. It's not an identity. It's not an addiction. It's not a flaw in who we are. It's not a disease. It's a survival strategy that our brilliant brains came up with in order to navigate neglect and abuse. Now we can add another option to our table in getting those needs and wants met in ways that don't require us to give ourselves up, to cause ourselves pain, or to tolerate abuse and neglect in our world. So if you want help in identifying, legitimizing, making real those needs, and then fulfilling them, I invite you to join the Nurture course with me starting October 4th. So thank you for being here. Remember that you're worth knowing, loving, and keeping. And go gently with yourselves today, okay? Because that's part of being kind with ourselves is, hey, I matter too. And where I'm at is enough. So there you go. I'll see you guys in our next training video. Be safe out there. Bye-bye.